Morning, everybody. Happy Friday. We're live and ready to go just as the market open is coming in. We've got a lot of exciting things to talk about. I see everybody's here on ASFX TV. Good morning. Good to see you. Jack, Lance, Joe Mo, what's up? Ken, Henry, Sean, what's up? Nick, Troy, Randy's here. Good morning, buddy. How are you? Tim,
good morning. Good. You?
Scott, good morning. I'm doing good, man. I'm really excited. Mr. Scott Pulcini will be on in about 2 or 3 minutes, guys. We're going to bring him on. Before we get into that, we have a long position on here on the TPT account. Randy, I'm long overnight into the gamma wall above. Scott's going to talk to us a lot about these gamma walls, GEX levels, and what he's seeing here. But a little bit of selling here coming in. The news this morning, everybody, retail sales month over month actual 0.5%, which is a slight miss to the forecast of 0.6%, revised previously at 0.9%. So going into market open today, where do we go? Well, we're going to find out with Scott. Scott's really going to show us how to use VWAP with Bookmap, I think, in a lot of unique ways. If you want to learn more, Scott's going to talk to us about how you can get active in his room and all that fun stuff. But before we get into that, I want to tell everybody we are on our last day, Randy, of tickets for the event at Friendly Bear University.com/events. Last day for tickets here, everybody. If you want to join us in LA, Tom Hugard's going to be there. David's going to be speaking. There's a ton of guest speakers coming, and I think we're already over 200 people. So I know the room is filling up. That's why the ticket prices are going up. If you can be there, you see they already got sponsors. If you can be there, it's Friday, October 10th in downtown Los Angeles. October 10th in LA. If you click get tickets, you'll see this is probably the last day you're going to see this price. I think it actually went up again this week from last week. And if you use my discount, it brings it down to $350. But now that Tom's starting to put out content, the tickets are going fast. And like I said, prices are going up. So let's get into it then. Let's take a look here. Still in this thing. Let's see what NQ is doing. And we're going to bring Scott on. Scott, good morning, buddy.
Hey, good morning.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for coming on. Everybody loved the podcast, so they're really looking forward to trading with us this morning.
Yeah, we picked an interesting day to get together on OPEX, but So
Tell
far,
me,
what I did.
tell me what that means, because Nick mentioned that to me, that you were going to say something about OPEX. What is OPEX? Is it options expiry?
Yeah, so you got options expiring across the board, and it could lead to some funky price action, kind of like what's going on right now, as I'm short and as it's whipping back and forth.
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of the days that I think are going to be crazy, like because the OPEX, it's completely dead. So we'll see. You know, usually Fridays are my best days. So we call it in my trade room 4 times Fridays, like trade 4 times the size as kind of a joke. But by far, it's my best trading day of the week. So hopefully OPEX does not ruin that, or hopefully you don't ruin that for me and jinx me.
Yeah, don't jinx me now. Don't jinx me now. So what are you looking at to kind of dictate the bias going into this morning? I'm sure you're looking at NQ.
Yeah, I'm short NQ right now. I don't know. Should I share my screen here? Am I
You
able
should
to share my screen?
Yeah, there's a button at the bottom. It's like a screen with a plus sign in it. You should be able to.
Okay, yeah, I got it. Wouldn't be much of a webinar if I couldn't show my screen. Do you like how I dressed as my avatar, by the way?
Yeah, it looks good. With the hat.
Oh, you got my screen?
Okay. Yeah, we got you now.
Okay. So, I put this on pre-market. That's not the, usually the wisest thing to do. Plus, Trump was chirping as usual, and then we had a Fed guy on CNBC. So, anyway, sell icebergs came in here pre-market. Pretty rare to even see events pre-market like that. But it fit my pattern that I look for one of my trading strategies, and we'll go over some of these trading strategies to see how they meld with what you're doing as well. But we got the ATR. So for me, my driver of my trading is the stop iceberg indicator, which is for those of you who don't know, icebergs are hidden orders in the order book that these big firms pay more money to be able to hide their orders, which is ridiculous on its face if you think about it. But they pay extra money to hide the majority of their orders. So in the order book, it'll look like, it's usually 10%. So for instance, this iceberg 165. So in the order book, all they have to really show it, I think it's 10%. So in the order book, so it looks like there's a 16 lot. So someone sells into that 16 lot, and then there's another 144 behind it, right? So it's like hidden orders. And the reason they do that, and I'm trading multiple markets too. I don't know what you want to concentrate on, just stocks, but
no, this is good. I'm sure there's going to be a ton of questions, but I'm going to let you kind of do your thing. You know what I mean? I want you to. You said you're rocking an NQ short here, with the firms being able to pay more money to hide their orders. It is kind of crazy when you word it like that, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, the thing is, what's so funny about it is, CMA came out about 7-8 years ago now, and they offered this enhanced data. So what you're seeing here, the enhanced data shows you with 100% accuracy because of the order ID numbers, these icebergs. So what's funny is the big money is paying to hide their orders, but then we could see where they're hiding their orders. So it doesn't make a lot of sense on the face, but when you really think about it, this is my opinion, complete opinion on this. I think the CME, 2017, 2018, the retail trader was dying, because these algos just run the show, and it was like shark eat shark in here. It was like big trading firm versus big trading firm. And I think the CME introduced this for the retail trader to kind of get the fish back in the seas, so that the big money, because this is a zero-sum game. People don't realize that, right? These firms, these algos that you see whips on the market here, they're trying to take our money, right? So, again, it's a complete guess, but I think they introduced this iceberg information to entice the retail trader to get back in the game, to give them a little nibble to see what's going on under the surface, so then the big money can take our money.
Interesting. Okay, this is good. I like it, Scott. I like it. I'm going to bring in Lawrence. Lawrence is our fourth host for the day. Lawrence, good morning, buddy.
Good morning, man. How you doing?
Good, Lawrence. This is Scott. Scott Lawrence.
Nice to meet you, Scott. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
So let me piggyback, Scott, off what you were just talking about on NQ. GEX levels, I just got them yesterday. Nick, we both are mutually connected through. Nick was putting me on. He helped me get set up. So I'm with the Mentor Q. I'm diving deep into their Gamma course. But can you give us like a high level on what you're seeing on the GEX levels and the 0 DTE Gamma wallet this morning? Because on ES, it's rated 6,500, it looks like. So what's it look like on NQ?
Yeah, so I use both Mentor Q levels, which that you see these on the price lines on the chart, and then I use Spot Gamma. They're both incredible. They both have their incredible attributes. Spot Gamma I get the levels, plus we get the hero indicator. This is absolutely crucial if you want to be competing in today's markets and the equities. It's the only thing you can get it for is the equities, but it's this options flow, especially like today, a day like today, is it dictates the market, right? So when what this chart's showing you is the gray or green line, whatever color this is. I'm colorblind, but it's showing you the options activity, and there's notional moves that are meaningful, right? So if this thing moves $1 billion, very quickly, these dealers get loaded up. I mean, that's Brentford spot gamma. That's his notional where he thinks it's worthwhile. But if these dealers get loaded up, so this thing's moving down, the dealers are on the other side of it. They're getting long options. They have to hedge themselves because they're not directional traders. They come into the market and have to sell futures, right? So you have to have an understanding of what these dealers are doing real time. And then as far as these GEX levels, you have to have an understanding of, dealers are going to be reacting at these levels. It doesn't always mean that, and I get all these snarky comments when I talk about it on Twitter or I repost something in Spot Gamma or Method Q. It's like, these levels, they've gone through them 10 times and they don't always work. Nothing always works, first of all. The point is, these dealers will be hedging here, right? So I caught a reversion trade. That's what you're seeing here. I'm short on another account. We'll go over that trade. But these dealers have to react, right? They're going to be reacting. It doesn't mean they're the only player in the market, though, right? So most times, I'd say 85 to 90%, the only activity in these markets are options dealers and algos, right? The 10% of the time, 15% of the time that the big money comes in, then it's a different story, and they can just run right through these GEX levels, even though the dealers are hedging here. But the point is, you want to know these areas, like here. So you can see as we're coming down here, and this is very likely going to come grab this. You see the GEX 2. So this is the GEX 1 is like the highest gamma level on the board where the dealers are most exposed, where they have to hedge, right? GEX 2, GEX 3. So this goes like GEX 10. Then he has blind spots as well. Those are based off like the ETF, like the QQQ. So it's just good to know where these areas are. But so, I'm short here. I got out of some at this resting liquidity, and we'll go over this trade. And you see how it bounced off this a couple times, right? So these are like magnets, but it's telling you something. If it can't plow through, it might now. And I still have a couple on, but I got out of some because I was struggling here. But the point is, it behooves me to know on the short, when this gets down here, I know dealers are going to be hedging. You have the vol trigger, you have another spot gamma level, and you have GEX 2. These are related, obviously. And if it starts to struggle, I'm getting out of some of my trade, right? So you need to know these for target areas. You need to know it for initiating trades. If you don't have this, I say it all the time, just like the stop iceberg information, you can be a successful trader without it. I'm telling you, to be 10 times more successful if you understand this stuff. But if you don't have it, you just don't have all the information, right? So it's like, you don't know what you don't know. But once you understand this stuff, it's like it makes so much more sense in trading and what's really happening here.
I'm following 100%. So I know Lawrence probably has questions. Everybody's got questions. But Scott, anything you're doing with this trade now as we tip lower?
Yeah, I'm just watching, obviously, these GEX levels. I got out of some here. I usually get out of my full leg trades. So I have a pattern. I don't have a pattern. The market has a pattern where these markets will tag the ATR. So I took a trade. It's called, I have two different types of trades. I have position trades where I'm looking for bigger moves. So I have that on right now. I sent that to my trade room. A lot of guys in my trade room have this on as well. And then I have trades that play for the reversion back to the zone. So this is closest thing to a scalp that works in this day and age, right? So that's how I made all my money. By the way, this is a new event. You see this bias coming in here. So the way I trail my stops now, so it's one of the biggest fallacies that I see in traders is the trailing of their stop based on their their P&L. The market does not care about your P&L. The market cares about volume and volatility, right? So I trail my stops, not because I got a nice winner in this trade so far. I do it based on something that's happening. So now, based on watching 4 million of these things over the last 8 years, I've determined the best ways to enter, exit. So the way I do it is, if this market is able to push an ATR, current ATR is 19 points. So it means it's rotating about 19 points every 5 minutes. If this market's able to push an ATR back out of here, ATR plus, I do plus 15%. Trust me, this is by trial and error. Then I stop out of the trade. If not, I hold it. Doesn't mean I don't get out of some of the trade, right? So as we hit important areas, I pay myself. So this is directly out of trading in the zone too. So I took their document, one of the best books you can ever read on trading. So I pay myself as the market makes money available to me. So these are all areas, and we'll go over some of these, that I will piece out. So these are the same areas that I initiate my trades, where my trading strategies are based off of. looking for SI events, right? So I will also piece out as the market obviously will hits those areas. So right here, let's take a look at what we got. So I look at a few. So these are the shorts I have on. Actually, that was supposed to still be on. Oh no, I got out of the full lick trade, but I still have some of the bark on, and then I'm long crude. We'll go over some of these trades, but see where we're at here in crude. So I'll show you. I mean, in NQ, I'll show you some of the areas that I get out.
I love the reference to the trading in the zone. Pay yourself. I think a lot of people, like you said, trail based on their P&L. They don't trail based on what the market's telling them. For sure,
the market does not care about your P&L. The market cares about volume, volatility, and these areas, right? So, thesis-wise, some of the things that matter are that I look for, right, is structure. So when I say thesis, it's just a complete guess of what's happening in the market, right? So right now, I even put this in my trade room earlier. If this area breaks, and we're here right now, I said if we get a volume event, below, let me show you this just to show you that, I don't call stuff after the facts. I'm trading live, right? So my exact words were, I said, let's see here. Sorry, I can't find it now. But I said anywhere, I'm trying to find the price. I said, here we go. Try to break out both sides of balance yesterday, built more balance throughout the day. I would wait for a move out of current balance to judge this is one of my strategies. We'll go over that. I will take double size shorts for any event entries under 23,860. That's where we're at right now. Why am I saying that? Because this is my guess on what's going to happen. Again, right now, this looks like this market's going to get smoked, right? If I get a bullish event, so if this buy iceberg that just came in, if this turns bullish, meaning it can move an ATR out of here to the upside where I'll stop out of my shorts, then I'm going to take longs. I'm a day trader. But if this event right now, this buy ice fails, right? So someone big in here is buying. The paper is not always right. The big money is not always right. When they're wrong, the market moves big time the other way too. So if this turns bearish, I'm going to trade double size shorts. If it's bullish, I'll still take longs, but my opinion isn't being met. So you see what I'm saying? So I'll day trade, play long, but if it matches my thesis, then I fire, right? So
for everybody that's not used to seeing Scott's book map, it's different than the way I usually show it. But that blue box that he's pointing to is a volume event. Someone is stepping in there at some large amount of size that now is on the book. You see those icebergs. That's what he's talking about. So now that a new volume event has happened, he's saying, all right, time to process new information, right?
Exactly. So you can see it draws. So this is always Bookmap has figured out a way to disseminate this information to show us on the subchart. One of my developers has been in my trade room for 3 or 4 years. He found a way to draw this information on the chart. So it's, I used to have to draw these events by hand, and you can map them out, right? You can see where these areas start. So you don't have to. This is a zone drawing tool that he made. It's available in the Bookmap marketplace as well. But you can see where this spike. And so these sell orders, these bubbles are market orders that triggered the buy ice, right? So I used to draw these by hand. Now it draws automatically. I'm going to keep an eye on this area. So now, so this just moved an ATR out of this event, right? So I know this is for me, this is a short event. So now I'm already short, but if it does this pattern for one of my strategies, I'm going to take a bark and a liquidity trade. We'll go over that. And I'm trading them double size now because this is matching what I thought was going to happen. So the volume event is matching what I thought was going to happen. Remember, I'm watching this area very closely here to get out of these right now. There's some of them. I got 4 left of this guy.
You following that, Randy? So he had one ATR out off the volume event. That's where he's doing something. And now on the next trade, it already is planned off of this volume event still because there's been no subsequent volume event.
Exactly. And then, so another trade I have here too. So we just talked about the scalp trade. This is the second largest kicks level on the board. So you will be amazed just on this webinar how often these markets come back to the volume event. So that's the reversion trade I'm referring to, right? I posted one the other day. I think you liked it.
Yep.
It was in Russell, right? So there's different ways you can take. So this chart looks ridiculous, right? When you first look at it, you're like, oh my God, I'm going to have a seizure. Like, what is all this stuff, right? Once you understand it, it's very, very basic stuff, right? First of all, this is liquidity. These are these algos playing games. All this is showing you, this heat map is showing you the order book, right? I'm sure you go over that with your followers. Yeah. Then these are the GEX levels, right? There's some up here. And then you have the volume event. And then these lines on the chart are just, so the blue line is the ATR. That's what you're seeing there right now. It's 21.17. So it's current volatility. Yep. And then this is where if I'm going to enter a short aggressively, meaning first move out of the zone, this is where I get in and this is where I get out. And you got So right now, if I'm going to enter a short, like if this does what I want it to do, as far as one of my strategies, I'm going to put it on at 23.820. My stops all the way up here at 23.885-ish, right? And I can just feel the eye rolling for the R traders, like, oh my God, you're going to risk 60 points.
No, break them, Scott. Right, exactly.
Right. So hold on, I'm gonna get out one more of these. So I'm getting out of some of these, but I'm gonna put them right back on if it follows one of my strategies. So what I'm referring to is I have trading strategies. These are this, right? So if this follows for this trading strategy, I call it the bark. What's a bark? So most of my strategies, I'm looking for volume events in my important areas, right? So for instance, you're a VWAP trader, and I want this webinar to be, I want to learn some of the stuff you're doing too, because again, I'm always open. You always got to be ready to evolve in your trading. Hold on, I'm going to take a reversion trade here, I think.
Now you're going to revert this back up off the GEX level. Is that what you're thinking?
On a different account. So on this account, I trade reversions and sexy Gexies. We'll get into that. But see how this is struggling here? I'm going to take this reversion coming back now.
Yep.
So I took a short from opening range low to previous day's New York.
I'll pass you
And
this
now-
one for a second.
Now I'm looking at the long. This was the short I took. I'm out of it now.
Yeah. So the way we look at it, Scott, is that opening bar set us underneath all the two key VWAPs we really pay attention to. And
Right.
since then, it's been all sellers. There's been no buyers able to take VWAP. So it's been shorts or nothing for the way that we ride. So we'd be, I'm sure there's people in the chat. Yeah, look, Mitch, take profit hit. Nice. Okay, good. Yeah. Well, let's do a quick check-in, Randy, and then we'll go over your trade. Then we'll pass back to Scott. ASFX TV chat people. Nick, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Justin, hello. I know we're jumping in the deep end. Yep. Share your P&L if you took a trade. Give us your entry price. Who had the highest short? Randy, what was your price on 90, 64.90?
88.75.
Okay. Love it. Chat, check in with us. And then, Scott, I want to go back to you for a quick second.
Okay.
GEX 2, you're saying GEX 2 is the second heaviest GEX level on the board. So GEX 1 would then be most likely to be pulled to next.
Not as, yeah, I mean, these are like magnets too, but it doesn't mean it's going to be pulled here. What it does mean is when it gets here, it's very likely going to react, right? Because the dealers, this is the highest exposure they have, and then they're going to hedge at this price. So this reversion trade is probably going to get run over. So I stopped out of the reversion trade, right? I'm still short my position trades, but I just took a reversion trade there.
Yep.
So this is trading, right? So the one I took earlier was a winner, right? So if you have an edge, the whole point is you keep taking the trade. You don't skip something because it feels like that felt like this was going to happen, right? But I don't know what's going to happen, and now you see a new volume of them coming in here too.
Okay, so new volume, meaning maybe we come in for a bounce here. ES rate on GEX 3, 64.75 on ES 2.
Right. So you hear those little echo things in the background. That's a hero alert. So now this is what I was telling you to watch the flow here. So the options, so big options activity is coming in right now. I'm trying to find what complex it's in. It's probably equities here. There it is. So see this flow alert?
Yep.
So the way this works is this is signaling there's a very likelihood of a reversal. So when you get the flow alert, huge options activities firing off like concentrated options. Once this like levels out, the market usually turns around. We have a trade for that too. It's called the flow B. So most of these you hear that in the background, right? So very likely this market is going to bounce out of here, at least temporarily, right? I usually jump in. Most of my trades, like I said, I'm waiting for an ATR out of the zone to enter the trades. The flow B, I will jump in smack dab in the middle if it's corresponding with the flow alert, right? This is not, because we're getting, yes, dealers are hedging here, but we're getting sell ice. So do I just want to bet the dealers are able to hold this area when someone big is selling here? No. So I'm not taking this flow B. If this was buy ice or sell stops, retail trader puking, then I would take the flow B. But it is something to note. And we'll watch here, we're getting flow alerts at the two strongest GEX levels on the board. So this is very likely going to be at least a temporary stopping point in the market, right? So, you're just using all this information to make judgments. Like I still short contract, right? And I want to see where else we're near the low level where I get out of my full trade. Not yet, not even close. I'm still short one, but I know there's a very good possibility this is it for right now. It doesn't mean it can't continue lower in a little bit.
Sure.
So I'm holding that last one, and I can still put on depending on what's going on. So again, I said double size shorts. For my strategies off of this event, I had nothing to put on that I saw, right? If I would have done this, I was getting to the bark trade. So most of my strategies are looking for these volume events in my important areas. So for instance, for you, it'd be like, okay, I want to see a volume event at VWAP, something like that. I'm going to take the trade.
Yep.
But the edge is inherent in these by themselves. So I still want to take advantage of these volume events. But the best way to take advantage of doing them basically in the middle of nowhere is when you get the ATR, the retest, and then it comes back out again. That's
yeah. The way that I definitely think we could have. Randy, your trade short looks almost like a play off that volume event on ES, right? Like you're trading ES, but if you look at his volume event where at the price that it comes off 23,850, you could see like that's a break and retest off of VWAP there on NQ. Wow, 1,200 contracts on ES just popped on above. You see that more and more, Scott. The trader map light doesn't even filter out the algos as much as it used to for me. I'll show you on my screen, like just seeing them flop right there, right on the board like that.
Yeah, I do this. It doesn't bother me. I like actually seeing, especially on webinars, just showing traders like what impact these algos have in the market. Because first of all, spoofing is illegal, right?
Right, but look at what is all that going on then, right?
Right, exactly. It's all spoofing, right? The point is, this is what's flipping the market back and forth. These shareholders continue to fire off, so it's going to be very interesting. Granted, today's a different animal because it is OPEX.
It's OPEX. It's Friday. We're already selling off pretty hard. This is a decent sell-off already. ES is down.
Yeah, and we haven't had one event in ES so far.
Yeah, so if I want to use the stops and the icebergs, I'm not going to see it as much in ES, right?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I've said I'm not going to see the stops and the icebergs as much in ES as I am in NQ, right?
You could, yeah, but it's just for some reason ES lately, we're at all-time low liquidity levels, meaning orders in the order books, and guess why? Because there's a tweet, there's a tariff headline, Trump. All right, this keeps firing off, and this is a Floby now, so I'm going to take it long on this account.
Scott, when you're looking at NQ on Bookmap, are you paying attention to MNQ at all? Like between micros and minis? I know you trade minis only. I just there's such a difference like between ES and MES on the order books that
I'm looking at the big contract. Those markets trade. Yeah, of course, sometimes the prices are a little different, but everything's driving off the big contract, right? So I'm trading the big contract. I don't always trade micros, but I don't want to just, like, for instance, I have 10 micros. This flow alert just keeps firing up. I have 10 micros on, which is equal to one big one, right? But when I trade micros, because if this trade starts working for me, like you saw my short where I was piecing out, I don't want to be all or nothing. If I have one big one on, then I got to. If I got 10 micros on, I can get out of half there, half up here, whatever. So I trade micros. In this zone, this is what I was getting at too. The zone drawing tool, and this is kind of working here. I'm going to show you how I trade this. This wasn't really a sexy Gexy, but I'm going to get out of half of these on this pop here.
Yep. Yeah, on ES right off Gex 3. I know it's not off the
You
Gex.
See how important it is to know like the real-time options flow coming in there. Like I kept saying it, they kept firing off, and then we get the pop, right? So
yeah. Very.
I got previous day's value area low right there to a tick on ES.
And those
on regular trading hours.
That stack of contracts is gone at 93.
Right.
So, yes. So Scott, we could definitely see something like where a VWAP that I'm using, say like a yesterday's New York, or maybe like even a start of week VWAP, is aligned with a Gex level, and then that's where we could see these really, really strong bounces. Like let me check that right now. Gex 3 is 64.75 on ES.
Right. Exactly. I'm just adjusting the zone. So I have a setup called the double whammy, right? So you can see there's dumb money puke. This with this red box, as you can see down here, sell 266 sell stops into the waiting hands of 160 buy ice, right? So I can combine these when they're on top of each other.
So that's what the red on the blue means, is that's a panic selling, puking selling into a bigger order.
Into the waiting hands of the big money, right? Again, it doesn't mean big money is always right, but they're right now, right? So this stuff combined with the flow alerts gave me an option to go long here, right? So for that particular stuff keeps firing off.
So we got that news coming in 4 minutes too,
right? And plus, so you're this right here.
Lawrence, is your mind being blown this morning, bro?
No, it is, man. Everything. Like this guy Scott, bro, it's like it's not even just the technicals, it's the mentality too that I just love, bro. It's like this like it's like I had so many questions, but also I want to sit there and just soak it all up at the same time, you know?
Are you in anything,
Um
Lawrence? Have you taken anything?
no, no, not yet. I normally don't trade until after 10 o'clock.
Yeah, especially with the news, I figured.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody in the chat asking where Tanner is. He's on vacation this week, so Scott's our special guest this week instead. Nick's out of short at 23.78, that's good. 64.90 was the entry on the short. Nice. 64.90 was a good price. Just all sellers since the open.
I wanted to take it down to 70, but I just at previous days New York and I had previous days point of control here. It's like I just trailed my stop aggressively and got stopped out on this candle.
Nice.
So
what are you trading today, Randy? What accounts you trading?
Just a TPT, just the take profit trader one, right? So I'm just working at this 3 micro process that we kind of went over yesterday. We were talking about on the podcast.
Yep. Yes, Scott. I mean, I'm looking at it here. It's interesting. Like you can see these bounces so well here, right off that Gex level. Let's see again here off 75.
Right. And so I don't know why I had 10 on. I don't know why I got out of the full contract. So the way I trade these, this is actually the way I trade sexy Gexies. But the point is, I want to see that. I heard those heroes alert. I want to take some off on the first reaction out of the zone right in front of the ATR, and then I'll leave some on because it is a SI event. But my point is, this is nonstop for 7-8 months now, right? Just headline.
Yep, there it is.
Headline. And you could have the best trade on in the world. By the way, I'm out of my shorts here. The only thing I got on right now, position trading wise, is I'm long crude. We can go over that trade. But so that was a nice trade. The bark and the lick trade that I got there. One of those was on the PA and Apex. So that was delightful. But the point is, it was so funny too. Zero Hedge put out this was the other day. This is so true, right? Every effing day, bro, a glimpse in the life of the hedge fund manager, which is the same for us, right? It's like, wake up, check what Trump tariffed overnight. Cambodia up 200%. Bruce and Covey. Trump tweets the laws are rigged. So the point is, this is every 5 minutes, it feels like, for the last 8 months. So if you could have the best trade in the world and you get a tweet contrary to your trade, you're done, right? So I tell my trade room all the time in this period, if you're just breaking even, you're doing well, right? So don't get discouraged if you're getting blown out of trades, because that's why we're at all-time low liquidity levels, in my opinion, meaning orders in the order book, like these guys, these big players, they won't rest their orders in the order book anymore because of the tweets and the tariff headlines, they get run over, right?
Here we go.
Ooh. This is news. I guarantee this. Or is this the number? So I wouldn't have held this in the number. I forgot this is the number. We get out of this. All right, so that was sentiment. So that was this here. So that's poor trading right there. I need to know this is coming out, by the way. Oh, and talking about rig. So when I worked in my trading firm, and it still goes on today, you can pay for this information for 5 minutes before it comes out. So what you can do is watch, for the ledge, watch the move it makes at 6:55 or 8:55, and then it usually will do the same thing into the number. That one actually went the opposite, but most of the time it's the same thing. So it's another example of having money, right? The big money gets to pay for this information. They get it before the general public. I mean, it's ridiculous, right? It's
crazy.
They've been doing it for 20 plus years, but the point is that information's out before the general public gets it.
Yep. I would assume it is at this point, especially. The consumer sentiment miss is 58.6. Forecast was 62. Questions in the chat. How do you get the Gex levels in Bookmap? I'll take the screen for a second. So what I did was I purchased this Bookmap marketplace add-on called Price Levels for $150, and then I signed up for Mentor Q, which Scott recommends as well, and that was $50 a month, or $50 for the first month, and then $100 a month after that. So you need another couple things. Like I would get the Bookmap indicator if you want these lines, and then you get the Mentor Q. With Mentor Q, you can actually have them on TradingView too. Nick was showing me that as well. Yeah, Scott's got it pulled up here.
Well, I just want to see. So that we have a bunch of volume events. I'm losing track here, but I want to see what areas we're in for potential trades, right? So this is an inflection zone. I draw these zones. This is one of my areas I look for the volume events, right? You can see it's bouncing right here. In this type of trade, though, so all right, now it's ripping the other way. I don't have anything on right now. I would have gotten long here normally in this inflection zone. I don't like getting long when you're breaking below balance, right? So this is rolling the dice. Doesn't mean it won't hold here, but I love it Izzy's when they're away from all the activity, and then it bounces. Here, you're risking getting run over as these guys puke out of their trades, right? So again, this may, and I hear all the time, this is like drinking from a fire hose, but you got to remember, one, I'm trading live. I'm usually trading multiple markets, multiple strategies. The point is, I'm looking for these volume events in important areas, and we did get the pukes, right? So this was, these were sell stops, these were sell stops, right, into the number. So I'm not taking the long off of that unless this can do my pattern ATR retest confirm. Then I'll take the long.
So you don't know the volume events bias. You just know when those boxes with the X starts, that's a volume event.
Exactly. So you can see traders don't know what to do here. Like they're getting stopped out both ways. This is kind of rare to see, by the way, where you see sell stops and buy stops. That just means guys don't know what the hell's going on and they're getting stopped out both ways, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The main thing you have to understand is this is a lot of activity here. So what does that mean? That means the move out of here is probably going to be a whopper because there's traders loaded up in this area, right? So that information alone can help you, even if you're not using the, if you're not using it, you're not going to see it. But even if you're trying to come up with a bias, whatever way this breaks out of here, you can maybe hold for a bigger move because there's so much activity down here, right? And the market trading is nothing but the driver of trading in my, again, I've been trading 25 years is volume. So volume drives everything. So if you don't know what's going on with volume, you just don't know, right? It's like you may get lucky, but you don't have all the information.
I'm trying along on ES 6480. Scott, if GEX 1 is below me, but GEX 2 is above me of current price, how do you interpret that? Because you would say like those are the two strongest GEX levels on the chart. How would you interpret 1 being below, 2 being above?
I don't really have interpretations for that. Okay. I mean, that's more of a question for Fabio. And by the way, he said he wants to do a webinar with us three if you want to do it live.
Let's do it. Yeah. I'm down.
But I don't really know. I just know that these areas. I mean, you can see down here, by the way, if this market moves down in here, and it's probably going to. And if you see a bunch of liquidity, resting liquidity, it's even more likely to. Right. But the point is, if this does head down here, it's going to be very hard to get through. And then if it does melt right through here, that's giving you huge, huge information. So Fabio from Mentor Q talks about these being inflection areas for his inflection areas. It tells you something if this just rips through all these GEX levels because the dealers are hedging here. If it just melts right through here, something bigger is going on. You better be heads up on the short side or not be long, things like that. But more likely than not, this is going to come down here and bounce off these levels. So we'll wait and see what happens.
Heat map the way you have heat map so dim in the background of it makes me feel like you take heat map in the backseat and you're looking more at price levels on these options levels. That's it, more, right? Not heat map. Heat map is not a priority for you.
Well, it is as far as so I have a lick trade. So the trade I put on this morning was a trade to the resting liquidity, right? So I saw the sell ice come in pre-market. I got
and you're trading into that heat map.
One of my strategies is trading into the liquidity and then I'm out, right? So yes, I watch for this. The longer this liquidity is in the order book, the more the stronger and the more of a magnet it is, right? Because think about it. If these people are sitting in here, this house is sitting in here just for hours, they're okay. If something negative comes out of another tariff headline and it rips right through, they're okay getting filled. So that tells you they're not trying to scare the market up. That means they want the fill, and big money usually gets their way. So you can bet your, that the market will eventually come down and tag this because, again, this is the game I used to play as a large scalper. So I used to be a huge scalper in the S&P. I could put on 3,000 contracts at a time. We've talked about that, right? Yep. So the game I used to play, I would put 1,000 in the order book, kind of like you'd see. This wasn't 1,000, but just stick with me here. Mm-hmm. And then I would start. The market would be up here and I start testing the water. I would sell some, no response. It would actually move. And I'm like, oh, I'll sell some more, no response. So I'm like, okay, I got it. And then I would just lay out, step on the gas. And then guys would jump on my coattails. They'd push it right into my bid. And then I'd be out of the trade. And I would also play the game because back then spoofing was legal. As it was moving down, then I would scare the market into my resting bid. I'd put 500, 500, 500, trying to scare it so I can get filled. Then I would get filled and I would just yank everything and it'd be a big vacuum and then it would come right back. So
it would literally be like who's biggest can
that's literally what happened to us,
That's
Austin.
still what's going on today. You see it, right?
Yeah.
So you see it right here. They're doing that same type of game. So again, if you know what you can bitch all day long that the algos are running the show and it's so hard. If you can see what they're doing, if you can't beat them, join them, right? So I know this is sitting in here. I know this big money is very likely going to get this market down to their order, then get short, right? And I get short based on my driver. But the point is, the market's very likely going to tag that, and it did it. Right?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, still sellers holding VWAP here. New York VWAP pulling under. NQ's looking a little more bullish, but YM still making new lows. YM's all seller. So if anything, it's like tech's trying to hold the market up a little bit here today. Mag 7's above its VWAP, so maybe a little bit of a pop here, but we'll see. A lot of VWAPs above too, trending down.
Right.
ES
funny
overbook
too,
is
'cause
super thin, doesn't it?
It's funny because YM took its New York VWAP into the open, just tipped over after that. Like YM looks stronger out of the three.
Yep.
Structure wise, I'll just give you my opinion on some of these markets, because then again, like if I start getting events in the direction of my guess, my thesis, then it's game on, right? I trade bigger. So this looks very bullish, right? So that was balance yesterday, broke out of balance, and all it's doing is coming back to the top of this. What does that mean? Balance are areas that traders are placing bets. So if you're short in here, and this starts to do this, what you want out, right? There's traders that hold their breath and say, please come back. And when it comes back, they get out and it causes that. So it's very important to know where these areas are of condensed traders, and you can base your thesis based on that. So if this does something like this and today gets through, I'd say the line in the sand's 44,900. This is the best position trade in trading. It's called the failed balance breakout, FBB, right? So it's when it breaks out, all the longs think they got it, and then it comes back, it gets through the high volume node of the balance area. It's called HVN. And this is just the area of a balance area where the most trade occurred, because it's trading back and forth, right? If it gets through that HVN, bye-bye, right? Or it should. So that's the best trade in trading. And I'll show you an example of what a market should do. This is Russell the other day. Let me cut this trade in my trade room. Actually, a guy in my trade room pointed it out, or I would have missed it. That is a multi-week balance area. Traders placing bets, right? Traders getting long, traders getting short, long, short, longer term traders. Those are the ones that cause the market to make big moves anyway. They tried to break down, got back, built more balance, failed balance breakdown of this guy, breakout of that guy, and this is what should happen. So what I always tell my trade room too, if what you're expecting doesn't happen, watch out the other way. But this is exactly what should happen in that case. So this is what I'm pointing out here. If this comes back here to the high volume node of this balance area here, you got more buy ice. Watch out under 44.9, because this should do that. If for some reason if it holds and it responds, then you can change your tune. But it's it's all if then scenarios. The point is, these are just guesses based on structure. I still use real-time volume events like we're hearing right now on NASDAQ. I kind of wish I would have went long there. Sell ice coming in here too, by the way. So you can see that this is all over the place. This is OPEC, so it's a little different. You usually don't see all these different, buy ice, sell stops, buy stops. But the point is, it's still happening, and this area is going to elicit probably a very big move throughout this day going forward.
Do you see it often going back to the gamma wall where the 0 DT options are like mainly being conducted? Is that always like the point of control that it tries to pull back to?
Yeah, again, these are, I'm probably as new as these GEX levels as you are, as far as like thesis based on them. But yeah, I mean, these are magnets as well. So the point is, if I do get long here, yeah, so you can say, hey, I'm going to get long in this area based on this activity, and then I'm going to hold it till we get to the HVL, the 0 date to expiration HVL, especially a day like today, 0 date to expiration trade, like the hero indicator that we heard all those things firing off and the market responded. A day like today is really going to matter because of all these, these options are expiring. So you can see here, this is what usually happens when you get the hero alert, right? So this came down, I think it was it this one here? Right here, right? So we heard that flow, we heard like 10 of them. There's something wrong with my flow alerts. It fires off like 85 times when there's only one. But anyway, we heard that flow alert. We talked about it. As soon as this levels out, the market turns the other way. So that is just, you should know that. So if you're short there, not even using my stuff, you're just using hero and you're short there, short ES or NQ, because the NQ trades off it too, just as well. You say, I'm getting out of some because of this flow alert. And you can see exactly what happened here, right? Flow alert fired. And this was almost a threshold event in ES. I could have maybe drawn that, but so with the zone drawing tool, that's on the Bookmap marketplace as well. So for instance, I could have done something like this and drawn that. right? The stop run, traded off it. The point is that thing popped, 15 points off of that hero alert. So it's information you have to know what's going on, to make some decent decisions.
For sure. Do you have like an average hold time, Scott, that you think like the average trade that I know the strategies are all different, but for like the more day trades, scalpier trades, what do you think your average hold is?
A couple minutes, right? So for instance, I'm going to take this trade. This is setting up to be a reversion, A+ reversion, right? So we already talked about propensity for these markets like this one to tag the ATR and come back to the zone, right? So I will take this reversion, and this is even better when we call it an A+ reversion, because you have traders that are trapped in those areas too. So not only do these traders went out when it comes back, so whoever had their sell orders in here that just got run over by these buy stops and it rips out. What are you thinking if you're in here and you just get run over? If you didn't already
get out,
please come back. And when it comes back, that's where you get out. So you have the propensity for these markets already to come back to the volume events. Then you have trapped traders. That's why we call it an A+. So these are different types of trades, right? That's more of a sell. Right. And then I have my position trades I'll hold, all day. Like for instance, I've been in this crude long for 2 hours. This one right here. I'll show you this just real quick to kind of emphasize. I mean, it's doing nothing, but I'm long on this too. So here's a good example. I took a sexy Gexy here. What's a sexy Gexy? So I'm long an Izzy trade. So what's an Izzy? So I'm looking for a volume event, in this case, in my inflection zones. So the market came down into this inflection zone. I draw these for myself in my room every day. We got the buy ice. I took that long. Then we had a sexy Gexy. These are the only trades one of the only trades I'll jump in smack dab in the middle of the event, as you saw right here, and look right there, Gex 1. So This is what I'm talking about. This came down. I know the dealers are hedging. Then we get big buy ice coming in. So someone else wants to buy here too. It could be the dealers, but it's usually a bigger entity. Either way, I jumped in, like I tried to jump in right in the middle of the zone. It kind of ripped away from me, and I'm long that. So I got long Izzy. My entry for the Izzy trade was waiting for the move at ATR plus out. And then I got in the Gexy right in the middle of the zone. So I'm long both of those right now. But this is a good example of me waiting. I don't trade unless I see the volume events, right? I don't care how great the area looks. I don't care if it's Gex 1. I need to see this activity to take the trade, right? And then I have my rules on where I get in, where I get out, so on and so forth.
Got it. Yeah, I'm following 100%. Chat, any questions for Scott? I know we're going to let Scott go in a few minutes. So if you have any questions, throw them in. My only other question for now, Scott, is because we covered so much in our last podcast too. When you're approaching this style of trading, do you think it works better with prop like Apex, intraday trailing drawdown, or do you ever think about trading your own personal account again?
Oh yeah, well I have all these trading strategies are tied to Apex accounts, right? So I have each one assigned to it, and I trade a little bigger. That's the great thing about the zone drawing tool too. So this zone drawing tool, you see, maps out the icebergs, but it corrects so many mistakes that traders make, right? So first of all, traders that have an edge or think they have an edge, they're like, oh yeah, this looks like a great long here, but where do I get in? Where do I get out? So this is telling you, based off this event, it tells me where I enter for most of my trades. I wait for it to move the ATR, right, plus out if I'm going to go long, and then my stops on the other side. So these yellow lines are the entry and the exit. Yeah. Then it's also showing you position sizing, right? So this is the biggest mistake traders make. They trade too big for their accounts. And if they have a bad day, and they will have a bad day, eventually it's 100%. Yep. If they're trading 20% of their account, they're going to have 2 or 3 losers, and then the account's gone, right? Whether it be Apex or your real account or whatever. So you have to be very cognizant. So the beauty of this drawing tool is you have, it draws the events. Obviously, it tells you where to get in, where to get out, shows you the ATR, shows you the reversion lines, the 1 ATR. That's what these dotted lines are. See where it says reversion 1 short entry. So it shows you the reversions. If you want to take that trade, it shows you where to get in, get out for the position trades, and it lets you put in your account size. So for these Apex accounts, I am risking 10% on each trade. So I'm risking $500 because I'm on the 150. So you can only lose $5,000, right? Yep. Trailing $5,000.
Yep.
I'm risking 10%. If you're trading your real money, you should not be trading more than 2% of your account size. So I'm actually, one of my buddies who's worth a couple $100 million he's seen enough. Like, he's my childhood friend too. He's like, I want to back this stuff. So he's backing every one of these strategies for $25,000 each to start, right? So that's the thing about my story, right? You know, I don't get in here and like stand in front of a Lamborghini saying I'm the best trader ever, $1 million. I went, and it resonates with traders too, because I went from multimillionaire to zero, right? And I don't have the money to put, you know, I don't have a trading firm backing me. I mean, this is a trading firm here, but I mean, for the bigger picture stuff, I don't have, you know, $500,000 to throw in accounts. So the best option, this is the best option that traders can have. One, especially if they're learning new things, or is to, you can trade on these ASFX accounts and get good at what you're doing, and then risk your own money. And the thing with these is, if you do well, then you're funded anyway, right? The problem is the drawdown, and we've talked about that, right? So it's like, I can't tell you how many I've blown out, live and the practice ones, where I'll be up, you know, the profit goes $9,000. I'll be up like $8,800. I need 200 more, and then I'll pull back to $5,000, a trailing stop, and then I blow out of the account. So that's the drawback, but the good outweighs the bad by 1,000. If I would have had this stuff back 2013 when I had to get out of the business, I would have been still around. There was one, I'm not going to name their name, but they had, at that time, they had no intentions of actually backing traders. What they wanted was the traders' money,
right,
for accounts. Right. We've already talked about all this, but it's changed. So ASFX, in my opinion, has changed the whole landscape, right? They changed the model. So now all these other ones that were playing games, just trying to take traders' money for the evaluations, they had to adapt or they'd be done. So now they're way more legit. But regardless, it's a great way to practice your trading without, you know, blowing accounts.
100%. I agree 100%. So what are you seeing here now as we are coming into what is it, 10, a little past 10:15 my time? Scott's in Arizona too, everybody, so he's on that mountain time.
Yeah, it's really fun getting up at 4:45 every morning.
Dude, I don't know how you've lasted that long on mountain time.
I'm on the West Coast. What are we talking about?
Yeah,
I don't see how long you last. On our chart, Scott, it looks like a perfect retest on ES of New York VWAP and maybe another leg down through that 75 level coming.
Yeah, I want to get like 5, you know, I don't know what time to get out, maybe 10 minutes. I just want you to talk and show me what you're doing. But quickly, so this is a sell ice event, right? In an important area. And this is actually a very good short opportunity as far as being still under this structure. So if this turns bearish, I'm going to trade double size shorts, position trading, Izzy. My entry is here for that trade. That's the yellow line. It's an ATR plus 15% is where I get in, and my stop would be up here. I try my best not to enter in prior events, because that's what we just talked about, the reversion trade, how they pop back out of prior events. But sometimes you just don't have a choice, right? Because you see, it's like there's event. Where am I going to move this entry to? All the way down here. So I'm just going to bite the bullet and take that Izzy short at 23.822. And then on the flip side, I will take a reversion trade if this pops down here. And by the way, this is the position sizing for my position trades up here, I'm risking $500, and this is for the reversion trade. So once you understand this stuff, it's not difficult, right? It looks like a lot, but it's not. So anyway, I'm taking different trades here. So if this comes down, tags me here, I'm going to take the reversion trade. I'll be back out of the zone. That's like a scalp. If it just does one of these, I'm going to get in my Izzy short, because that's an inflection zone, and I'm going to take the short there. And actually, I think this is another area quickly, and then I want to learn what you're doing. I think this is a pick. Yeah, so it's very close to so this is another area. Watch, this is a market profile composite where I merge single days into multiple days. A value area. Value area is just where 70% of the trade occurred. So again, I'm looking for volume events at these areas to put the trade on. It's not quite there yet, but if it moves up a little higher and I got a volume event that turned bearish, I would take that short. So you see what I'm doing here. These are my important areas. So I've never told traders what their important areas should be. Like yours is VWAP and whatever you're looking at. That's great. But what I'm telling you is, if you get this information and use this information to confirm your area, you're going to do 100 times better in your trading.
I love it. Yeah. And that's why I'm interested to see how these volume events can combine with what I'm seeing on VWAP. Today's definitely interesting price action. Randy, let's go see what you're doing. I think you're long as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're on the wrong side of the VWAP, but I'm seeing us come. So Scott, 2 VWAPs that we'll use are New York VWAP anchored at 930, and then previous day New York VWAP anchored at the previous day 930. So I'm long here. First position of the day, 64.80. Stop is at that news shakeout pin. I'd like to see that hold if we can continue to hold that GEX 3. So I'm kind of combining previous day VWAP being near this GEX level to see if we can get the bounce back towards that Gamma 0 DTE wall at 6,500 all the way up here. But it's heavy selling. So the right side of the VWAP would say to be short again here, 64.82, trying to trade this back lower. I just don't know if we're going to break through here. So that's what I'm seeing on ES. NQ above New York VWAP here, looking a little more bullish. So this could be something where we look for a retest back into the what we look for as opening range high. So let's see ES rate on 74 now too. And then let's take a look real quick at YM. Oh, YM looks super bearish.
YM's been nothing but down.
Straight down.
Since taking the New York VWAP.
Yep.
Remember that area I told you too to watch for it. If that breaks that 43,900, watch out below.
43,900.
There's one more thing I want to show you here
Yep.
that can help you too when there's no volume events going on.
Yeah.
This is the market pulse, the Bookmap market pulse. So you can hear this stuff firing off in the background. I use tick strike as well. This is just showing me the intensity of the buying and selling. It's a meter between 1 and 15, and I have it set at 11. So 11 or more means they're serious. It's taking the speed of the orders and the size of the orders. So it's just alerting me to big activity, like in the Mag 7 stocks and these products. I have it for all of them. I've yet to use that for a year. I went to Bookmap a few years ago and said, hey, could you make me a better version of tick strike that shows me history, so on and so forth. So they took it and ran with it. Now they have all these different algos you can see here. It's awesome right here, right?
So in the market pulse, and that's showing you when it's accelerating buying or selling.
Right, but they have different algos now. So what I'm showing you here is the price change algo. So when you see this, like when you watch this enough, especially when nothing's going on, it is, if anything, even if you're not trading it, and you got to be fast, right? If you want to scalp, you can trade this. But the point is, you're going to understand why the market is doing these rotations, right? The biggest algos in here are the price change. You can see every time. So this is at 70% of the last 5 minutes. The biggest price change in the last 75% of the biggest price change in the last 5 minutes. So every time this spikes, it has some kind of reaction. Spike. You got to be careful though, right? So when algos are running it, it's like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The big money comes in, this thing could price change for 30 points, right? So that's all built into their strategy. But the point is, when things are dead and you're like looking to get long, you don't want to get long when this is price changing, because you have a very, very good chance of it snapping back. Wait for one of these, then you get long, right? So this will help you time your trades better, even if you're not using the stop iceberg information.
Interesting. Okay, so what are you seeing above and below? Looking at ES, anything worthwhile?
I'm not seeing a ton of liquidity. So a lot of times too, thesis-wise, you can come up with a thesis we just talked about based on liquidity. Look below here, right? I see nothing above, I see band of liquidity. It's harder to see with these GEX levels on here.
But I see it.
There's not a lot of heavy liquidity. So again, this doesn't mean it's not going to go higher. It just means there's a much higher percentage of it coming down and tagging this stuff first. And you heard about my games I used to play. So this big money, they'll test the waters. If they can, they'll push it into the orders, and then it may go higher, right? So it's just knowing this stuff is going to make you a better trader. Like, okay, again, if you're not using the stop iceberg stuff, then you say, okay, you know what? I'm going to wait. I want to get long here, but I'm going to wait for it to tag this liquidity, especially at these GEX levels. Then I'm going to take my long. I'm going to wait for a price change at these GEX levels and then go long. Things like that, right? So this stuff is that you need to know what's going on in here if you want to make better decisions.
Are you looking at the CBD, Scott?
I have one trade for the CBD. Trust me, when I first learned about it, I thought it was like the golden goose, right? I'm like, oh, this is incredible when you see these divergences. So the one trade that I do take with the CBD is, we call it the dad trade. So that's this guy here, right here, Dumb and Dumber aggressive opposite delta trade. So what I'm looking for is I'm trying to find my Discord room. I'm looking for, here's a good example of it, right? So again, I'm looking for an area. In this case, I'm looking for different things to happen here. So here's the data right here. This is my trade room, by the way. Right. So this is a good example if it happens to the downside, right? So I'm looking for
prior and Q long retested.
Extreme standard deviation of VWAP. So here's VWAP, right? That's your guys' go-to, right? And then you have one standard deviation. They call that daily value area. Then you have 1.5, 2. So I'm looking for a volume event, a stop run, which is usually a fade because it's just retail traders puking. It's not initiative selling. So most times, sometimes it'll hold. We call it a stop and hold, but most times you get the reversion. So I need to see a stop run at extreme standard deviation, which with a diverging CBD, right?
Interesting.
You got to be careful. So many traders, like yesterday, I think there was one that went for like 200 points before it moved. When I first learned this, I'm like, oh, look at that. So for people that don't know what CBD is, it's just showing you who's the aggressor, right? So as this market moved lower in this case, they were taking bids more than they were hitting offers. Well, you're asking yourself, well, how does it keep moving lower? Because someone's putting in, just because they're taking bids, someone's putting in orders passively as it moves down. So they try to buy it, someone puts in an offer. To try to buy it, someone doesn't mean they're hitting the bids, they just keep putting in offers, and then it keeps moving lower because they keep, having responsive selling, passive selling. But the point is, the buyers are being aggressive here. So eventually, what should happen is it should bounce because the aggressor is the buyer. But it's not an end all be all. I mean, this thing was diverging from up here. You're just gonna keep buying until, you know what I mean? So I demand a volume event and I demand extreme standard deviation, because now I have help. I know these algos like to snap it back to VWAP. I know the aggressor is the buyer here, and then my driver is the iceberg event, in this case the stop run, and then I put the trade on. But yeah, so I look at it, but not that closely. And for some reason, that's the default on all the Bookmap. When you open an instrument, it's the default. It's like, it's not end all be all at all, and it's not red light, green light.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sure.
Scott, what are you seeing now? It's a strong little push here.
I'm just seeing it bounce right. Like I drew this. This wasn't even a threshold event. I'm not trading it. So when I say thresholds, from watching literally millions of these things, I have certain amounts of volume that are meaningful that I will trade off of in these products, right? So in ES, I don't even look at this because you see these blips, right? I actually probably could have combined these at the time. But the point is, I don't trade every blip on this stop iceberg indicator. It has to hit a certain amount of volume for me to say that's worthwhile. And that's just from watching so many of these. So in ES, I need to see at least 500 stop runs for me to trade off of it, or 700 icebergs. Anything below that, I just don't put the trade on, right? So what I was getting, probably could have drawn this. So this only draws on concentrated volume events, but you can add them up if they're all back to back. So this, I should have drawn this. I just, this is the beginning of the webinar, right? So you see here, 574 buy ice. You had another five something here. What was it? 504. Then you had another. So you've got 1,300 buy ice on this move down. So I should have drawn this from right here, and I'm going to draw it right now because I still could potentially take trades off of it. So this is what I had to use to do this for like 7 years. I had to draw these manually. So the way you do that, I talk about this in my course too, how to do this. But you see where the spikes, and that's where you started. So for instance, this buy ice started here, and you just follow it down. And this is the beauty of the zone drawing tool. You can adjust this. So at the time for this first blip that was here, right? And then I'm going to add these as they came down here. And it just goes to the center of the bubble. Every time this spikes, you want to bring it down. So that came all the way down to right there, right off the X3, surprise, surprise. So I'm going to bring this down to here. So that was the big buy ice area. And then, so if I would have been on this, I would have taken my trades off of this. So let's see what it did. There's a bug in this too. If you have the zone drawing too, if it keeps drawing, just toggle the F1. So you can see it's just sitting in this zone right now. So I can still take trades off of this. So whatever way this breaks, I'm going to take trades. If this turns bullish, I'm going to take longs. If it turns bearish, I'm going to take shorts, right? So this is a great driver right now for how this moves out of your trades.
There's definitely a trade that we have too, Randy, and I know you know about it. We've seen it where it'll sit underneath VWAP like this for the first hour or so of the day. And when the buyers do step in, like you're saying, Scott, when they take VWAP here, we'll move quickly. Like the buyers will be in, you know what I mean? Unless we have something going on underlying that can create more selling. But again, it tapped X3, pulled through, now sitting back above it, and that 0 DTE. But it is dark. This map on the top side feels very thin. You can see GEX1 actually seems to stand out the most, 248 contracts on the book there. So that may be where it wants to go. That's near that HVL line too, 55.
Are you talking about ES?
ES, yeah.
Where do you see GEX1 at?
I see GEX1 at 64.50.
Oh, down here. Okay, I was looking above. Right. So again, it's telling you something too by, again, paper, the big, like we call paper back in the day, it's called paper, right? That's the big money, the big house. This is the one that put in this big iceberg order, right? They're not always right, but they're right more than the wrong because they make themselves right because they have so much size they can put on, right? So it's telling you something. If this can't hold, it's telling you something, and heads up, it's probably headed to the GEX1, especially with these liquidity levels, and whoever's down here wants to get it there. So that's the point. We have I have 6 distinct stop iceberg setups. This one, if this breaks, it's called broken ice. If it holds, I call it Titanic, right? Very technical names. That's the point. They're supposed to be memorable too, right? So if this holds,
I remember them.
Right. So the point is, like, you want to judge bigger picture what's probably going to happen off of this event. Doesn't mean another event can't come in either, but this is good to see too. So like these algos right now, they can see this stuff just like we can, right? They see nothing's going on, and what is it? Whipsaw City, spoofing city. So this is why like traders start panicking. Like if they're short, they do this and they, oh, I got to get out. If they're long, it does this. Oh, I got to get out. It's like, no, this is just, I don't do anything until, so if I'm long right here, I don't do anything until this thing can push an ATR plus, then I'll get out of the zone, that or out of the trade. That shows me something. This
where
stuff,
your ATR is where my stop is.
Right, exactly. That's where it should be. And you can see, look, here's the price change. So right now, Al goes, no, nothing's going on. And let's just whipsaw, see that price change. Boom, boom. There is one here.
If anything, Randy, that's where that stop and iceberg thing could really help us too.
Yeah, that's what I'm really interested in. That's my next journey in Bookmap is stops and icebergs. So
I'm telling you guys, your trading life will change. By the way, I'm still on crude air. This has been a beauty. I might take a sexy Gexy here, but this is, well, it's not. So I take sexy Gexies unless I see heavy relative volume. But you can judge too. Like I was about to get out of this long and put on a short. We had stop run into the Gex levels, but it just blew right through there. So I just let it go. I'm not going to put on the short now. If this would have held, I could have put the short on. Right. I'm going to get out of one of these.
Scott, if I had to pick between Gex levels and stops and icebergs, where should I start? Stops and icebergs?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, in my opinion, you want these Gex levels too. I mean, what I was getting at earlier, someone asked earlier, if you go the Bookmap marketplace, it's the price lines add-on. But if you get Mentor Q, so just put in price lines and it should be right there, right? So if you get Mentor Q, he's got a discount code. It says 150. You get $50 off. So I mean, it's it's something. It's not, so it's only $99. But that you need the price lines to be able to draw them on the chart.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, stop iceberg information, I say it all the time, is the most powerful thing I've ever seen in my 25 years of trading, right? By far, runaway, not even close. But yes, these GEX levels, especially as this option, zero date to expiration option trading and overall option trading has exploded. If you've ever been on one of Mentor Q or Spot Gamma's webinars, it's like tenfold, right? So you need to know where these dealers are hedging. That's the great thing about Mentor Q too. He has them for all these other, so if you want to trade, gold or
long retested.
Gold, or by the way, here's a reversion trade, right? That's what happens all day, every day, right? Tags the ATR, comes right back to the zone. That's the reversion trade I was talking about. But anyway, you get them for all these different futures products. So if anything, it's going to make sense why the market's responding where there's bounce. Now, there was no volume event for me to take this trade, but right off the HVL, 0 date to expiration. What do you know? Hey, look, it did it again. This is not by accident, right? So if you don't have this information, you don't have all the information, right? So yeah, stop icebergs first, and then Mentor Q, Spot Gamma stuff is huge. You want to take a look at Spot Gamma too, because they have that real time hero, and you saw this morning all that stuff was firing off. In NQ, that was the bottom, right? I kept saying hero alerts. I didn't put on a hero trade or I call it a flowbee because of the flow, because this was an event. I could have put it on this, and I was going to, actually I did, but I got out for some reason. But anyway, the point is you want this information in your trading, or you just don't have all the information.
Definitely. Scott, this has been amazing, buddy. I think the viewers love it. The questions are great. So we've covered so much. I think we're going to have to plan another one.
Absolutely. Anytime. Like I said, Fabio, by the way, I just filled out my reversion trade, so we'll see what happens here. Fabio said he'd come on. So that's the guy you want to be asking about. Hey, what happens when do you think it's going to go to the next guy? I'm not going to pretend like I'm an options expert, right? By the way, let's see how fast this one works, right? So this was the reversion trade I was talking about that we just saw one in crude where it tagged the ATR. Look at that. It tagged the ATR exactly. Hey, look at that. Right back to the zone. Who knew? Yep. I just missed my fill there, so I'm just going to get out here. It just almost tagged it. Oh, I got to cancel this. So that's the reversion trade. You see, that's like a scalp, right? Most traders gravitate towards scalping because they can't stand sitting in trades for hours or whatever. So this is the best way to scalp these markets, in my opinion, is the reversion trade. And that's a whole nother trade, but it's, for those of you that can't stand it. And again, I was the biggest scalper one of the biggest in the world, and I did it for a reason, because I couldn't stand sitting in trades, right? I conditioned myself.
Not with that size.
Right. I conditioned myself now, but it took a long, long time to be able, and still drives me crazy, but I'm better at it.
Right. All right, Scott, I'm going to email you. We'll set it up with Fabio, or when you'll have to introduce me, we'll make it happen. But thank you for coming on, man. This has been amazing. Amazing. The chat loves you. Everybody loves you. Guys, I'm going to throw up on my screen really quick. Make sure you head to the Day Trading Show. Scott and I just posted our second podcast together. The views are great. We start out with some casino, riverboat gambling stories, right, Scott? It was a good time.
Yes, that was that stuff hasn't been shared publicly that much, but that's.
But there it is. Go get it. And everybody, ScottPulciniTrader.com. If you want to get into Scott's room, get into his courses and get all that stuff, highly recommended by myself and people in our community for sure. Scott is the go-to. So Scott, thank you, buddy. Have a good rest of your day. Enjoy the weekend.
Thanks, Austin.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Scott.
it.
Thanks, Scott. Nice meeting you, man.
Yeah, so good. Chat loves it. Scott, thanks so much for coming. Nice, good. Yeah, love it, everybody. Love it. Randy, thoughts? Decompress with us. Take a breath.
That was a lot, man. That was I was almost a little intense. It was more intense in my trade, to be honest.
I'm glad that I'm not the
just
only one
trying
feeling
to
that.
soak it in.
Dude, me too, bro. Like I need a joint or something after that. I gotta chill out. Dude. Like he is the GOAT for a reason, bro. Like that guy is a machine. Am I wrong?
Bro, all those strategies, bro. Like,
The
and he knows them.
the account
And he knows
management,
them.
the tabs, dude. His brain is a computer, bro.
Yeah,
He
no
was a floor
emotion.
trader, Lawrence, that got his he lost all of his money in 2010 or 12 or got
Like,
kicked
did
out
we
of the
just
exchange.
every time I talk to him, I'm like, did I just talk to like a genius? You know what I'm saying? Like a
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like a savant, bro. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Super good. Very interesting though to see, Randy, like look at how consolidation has taken over ES here, like he was saying. At the same time that those stops and icebergs are doing nothing. There's no big dealers paying extra money to get their order in under the table. Once those events are happening, then we get the market moving. Otherwise, it is literally just algos taking traders' money, right? Like look at Blake. Blake in the Black Shirt Club was short here and got tapped on break even here, just taking people's money. Yeah, you'll get wins and stuff and losses, but it's just taking people's money, you know? It really
That's
is.
why I like where he's using Bookmap to scalp level to level, like his levels on Bookmap. And he's literally looking for 6, 10, 15 points or whatever he's doing on NQ.
The crazy thing about him is he's colorblind. So he can't even see all the colors that he just put us through. Like we just got traumatized by colors, by the rainbow, and he can't even see it. Yeah.
But do you think maybe that's why he does easy with it? Like he's better with it because he's colorblind, obviously, where we're just our mind is just getting, you know what I mean, bombarded with all this shit that we're like this, that.
I thought I was having a seizure at one point, but yeah.
Because when you said he has the heat map turned down, that really shouldn't matter much to him because he sees grays and blacks. He's not seeing like us. We have it, you know, bright red or bright yellow. Interesting. Can I buy glasses to make myself colorblind? We should look into this.
We should definitely look into this.
It'd be pretty wild. I'm just sitting in this.
Let's get a little check in here. Lawrence, you take anything yet? No, because we're just into your session now.
Yeah. I'm in a long right now, but
nice. All right, so we're all long.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm in a long right now.
Cool.
But I should have put my stop at the end of that sweep like Randy did, but I didn't. So we'll see what happens.
Are you NQ?
That low.
Yeah. NQ had that took the swept at lows from
here.
Up its lows from Thursday.
I don't have the GEX levels on the book map here yet, Randy, but I can get them, I think, pretty quickly. Yeah.
So I want you to focus on this. I'm gonna focus on icebergs and stops. And I think we can combine the two. Instead of trying to figure out all of it. Like you pay attention to what the GEX levels do, and I'll pay attention to stops and icebergs. And then
they're more just like they're on the chart. They don't move intraday, I don't think.
That's what I was asking this morning. I was curious about that because I took a long yesterday into that GEX 5 or whatever that level you were saying. And I watched price like really struggle to take the 90s. And then once it took it, it popped.
I'm trying to just get this thing to work here. I think you have to go update levels. And then, there we go. Yeah, so
I am sitting at its previous days New York now, so it looks like it's finding a bit of support down here.
Look, so if you look at on my screen, I got NQ right here on New York VWAP, right?
Yeah.
X2 is 23,800. Now, down there.
So what's 23,800? 23,800 was the move of the last, like on the 1 minute chart, was a candle back up into the New York VWAP on NQ. You can see it right off of 23,800.
Yeah, so it hit that X2 and then bounced. You have a lot going on down here. Put support is 23,700. So that's like your line in the sand, I think is what they say. That's near your 1 day minimum too. So that'd be a big move down into 23,700s.
So what's on ES on 6450 for GEX, like for the options levels? Because there's that massive block that's been sitting there.
On 60, let's just take this down a little bit. 6450. is the Gex one, is what he is saying is the strongest Gex level.
Right, there's 250 orders that have been sitting there.
Look at this thing sitting on this 3 though. And there's 5 in the way. The 0 DTE HVL is in the way. I don't know what any of that means, to be honest, everybody. But I have this ChatGPT conversation going, so I'm trying to learn with chat. And I also have the Mentor Q course here that I'm going to be watching. I paid for this, so I'm going to try to upgrade us and take in some new information. But I think you probably want Scott's course for the stop and iceberg stuff, right?
Yeah, I got to look into all that. It was actually funny because I was talking to ChatGPT about ES to MES, and it was basically saying MES is all the retail traders.
Yes.
And ES is all the banks and institutions and the hedge funds.
Right.
So that's why you see the difference in orders. And then that's why MES obviously has so much more volume, is because there's so many more, there's so many retail traders now, right? And it's accessible with the micro.
If you look at it from like the heat map perspective, look at the orders that were under Gex 3 that did not fill. And now they're putting orders here kind of in between Gex 5 and 3 at 65. If those don't fill, we may start looking at these Gex levels to be like, okay, we can't really trade into 65 until we break 75. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Because they're going to want to.
He was saying once we break, I think it was like basically New York in previous days. Once we break the 80s, he's looking to long it.
Exactly. And
like his that he was showing that little volume, like that box he drew.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The top side was 80 to look to long it, and then below it was 75 or 76 was to look for shorts.
If you look at like 6,500 too, is that 0 DTE gamma wall. That's the level that is like the middle ground. That's like the point of control that seems to want to always pull back, sitting at 6,500 exactly. You know, so I do kind of like that as the target.
That's where I'm 499.75 is my is my limit, sell limit.
This price action is horrible.
Yeah,
super sideways on ES. And like he was saying, it is the options expiry, so there could be a lot of movement towards the close today. It doesn't have to all happen right now. You know what I mean? YM honestly looks like it had the cleanest move from New York VWAP the previous day, New York VWAP.
Yeah, like it just was straight down once the sellers took New York VWAP. There's no coming back. Now it's finding some support down here. Let's see if we can hold it. I got a lower day VWAP on YM, and it's sitting on it. So
yeah, I mean, we're fighting the VWAP a little bit here, coming off previous day VWAP on ES for my trade at least. The key here for me, everybody, is like this news pin at 10 o'clock. If that pin holds, I don't care how long this takes to pop higher. If that pin gets taken, then I think we definitely go lower. That's me. I don't know about Gex levels or what, but the way that I trade, that's what I'm seeing. So that's where my stop is. That's why I'm sitting in this.
Man, bro, he has so many strategies. I couldn't
That's not even. He's got more. Dog barking, licking, this, that.
Dude, it's crazy.
But it was interesting to see how he has a strategy for each account in Apex. And he's like, one account this, one account. Like, he's very fast paced, but it's probably a good way to preserve his capital. Like, that account is dedicated to that strategy. And if that hits 3 out of 5, he knows he's good there, and he goes to this one. And it's interesting how he did that.
Yep.
It's a lot of work.
Yep.
I don't think I could handle it, but.
Yep. Alex said, why are we long even though it's against the VWAPs? I'll say it again. Off previous day VWAP, that's the lighter blue VWAP. Using that 10 o'clock change, the 10 o'clock news as the stop, and also trying to come off this Gex level. So kind of like combining what Scott was talking about, trying to understand it a little bit. So.
And I got stopped out here.
Yeah. Coming down a little bit.
But that's what I get for it. I should have placed like your stop is supposed to, but days like this, your stop got to be a lower day.
Yeah.
It sucks. It's a bigger stop than I wanted, but it's like that's where I gotta be if I want to be in this trade.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Like if I would have, my thing is I normally go for like a fixed 2R. If I would have put it there, then my TP would have been egregious. Like it would have been so ambitious. So
did you listen to the last podcast, Lawrence? The one that dropped on Monday, ours?
I didn't get a chance to.
Bro, listen to it.
Okay.
He talks about he talks about 1R and negative R trading, and like how like going.
Lawrence doesn't want to hear that, bro.
Yeah, I know. I know. That's why I'm bringing it up. But he's got a really good. You'll like his mindset. He puts his trade on and he walks away from the desk. He doesn't care if it's like if he's green or red. He just wins by walking away from the desk and lets the trade play out. So
yeah,
it's you'll like it. It's a good one, man. He's coming for you actually for views. So he's coming. It's coming hard for you.
That's good.
You said for views.
Well, you're our best episode yet. So
Oh
by
yeah,
far.
yeah.
So he's definitely Cameron's got some cool insight for sure.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
Just like
Jeez.
it's you'll like it. Trust me, I know you will.
This shit is
Mag 7
tanking.
just took New York VWAP. Apple's at session lows. Microsoft's back under. Nvidia looks nice and bearish today. Look at that. Tesla's down.
Just pull up if you want. Pull up YM, and hopefully this gets some lift down here, and then this will hopefully bring everything up because YM just yesterday just ripped.
Yeah.
We're sitting on previous day's value area low here on ES. So this is like one of those, the way I look at it is, this is going to be a very telling level. Like either we're going to get, and we've held it nicely now. If we break down below this trades pretty much, I think it's going to be toast.
Yep. Nice, Ryan. Good job, buddy. We could do a P&L check in the chat. We haven't done that yet today. Throw it in chat. Let's go. Tell us where you're at. This is the one trade I've taken so far. Same for Randy. Same for Lawrence.
Yeah.
I mean, the way it depends on how you trade this off the VWAP lower too. Like you'd have to get in pretty high. Otherwise, like you really didn't get much out of this without getting it coming back towards your entry. Like there's a couple of attempts here to shake you out of this short, unless you got in at like 81 or 82. If you were in at 78, 79, you just started making money now,
Mm-hmm.
but still back under 75, under that GEX level. Now would we go 60 now?
Well, there's orders that are on at 70, and then those orders that have been sitting there at 65, and orders just came on at 66. So
let's see. We got the chat here blowing up. Let's see. Frank 266 on YM. David minus 48 on one account, plus 420 in another one. Nice. 1200. 20 on one account, minus 200 another. Plus 65, break even, plus 153, plus 400, plus 137, plus 450, plus 268. Nice. Minus 70. Nice. Plus 48. 7 accounts up 27. Nice, Andreas. Nice. Ryan, good job. Good job, everybody. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, that was a lot. That was a lot with Mr. Scott. He's a lot. But it's good. I like learning. I'm definitely interested to see what we can come up with between the GEX levels and the stop runs, Randy. See if it can help us a little bit.
Yeah, no, I agree. I totally agree. I think there's so much information in Bookmap, and if you start to like delve in what works for you, and I love how he just said like what works for you, you can use Bookmap for anything. It doesn't have to be off of this level or this level if you're trading VWAP or whatever it is. I just think you just really start to get all the information. You can start to build a thesis
from Bookmap.
Yeah. Like I think Bookmap makes it, once you start to understand, because it looks so overwhelming and it's so pretty, I think people just get so like caught up in the colors, but I think there's so much more information there once you just start to digest it and understand it. It just, like, it's like when we started looking at it, Austin, like we looked at it so different. When I first looked at Bookmap, I thought the buyers were above and sellers are below.
Right.
Not the opposite, right? Like, and didn't realize that till after I think a month of trading it.
Yep.
Yeah, let's see if we take.
If we take out these lows, bro, we're gonna die.
We're gonna die. Yeah, I mean, my stop is probably where everybody else's stop is. That's long, right at that pin low.
Yeah.
Once it takes that, Yeah.
I wonder if we should have taken into consideration how big of a move there was on YM yesterday.
Maybe.
And
I was kind of leaning into
some of that.
I was leaning into Scott and this GEX level, just trying to see if this proves for anything. Lawrence, are you still doing the one and done? So one trade and done?
Yes, sir. I'm right now. So I took a red day today. I'm done. Yesterday I took a red day. So 2 back-to-back red days, but it's been treating me pretty well for the most part.
Bro, I think
I'm gonna show you my stats. Go ahead.
Clay got an account with Tick Tick, I think.
Bro, fuck Tick Tick. I don't like what they did.
That's a lame name.
Austin.
Like, come up with a better name than fucking Tick Tick, man. It sounds like a kid's toy.
I agree,
we're traders here, man. We're in kindergarten class.
Just stupid, bro. When you get a chance, pull me up.
Hopefully the CEO for Tick Tick's in the chat, right, Austin?
Seriously.
He's one of the subscribers.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, bro. So I've been doing So I got these 150 because I started over. So I got these 150Ks July 24th. So I've been doing one trade per day ever since then. So I'm actually pretty proud of this right here, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you because I had 4 red days out of 6 trading sessions, and
Yep.
I still was like
Still a
115
little
for the day.
green.
It's
Yep.
still
Yep.
green, yeah. And then this month right here was pretty solid. I did take 2 red days on the 14th and 15th, but this month was pretty solid for the most part. Stats look pretty good,
Yep.
right? Yeah,
Yep.
53% win rate, 2.75.
So are you
Every
going to keep on the
371.
one trade a day thing? Well, that's the real question.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna do it for like a year.
See how it goes.
Yeah, see how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm working on a 1 day a trade thing right now, but I'm doing actually I have 2 accounts. So basically I'm doing 1 trade per account. And I have 2 so like
Yeah.
2 trades max. So it's like same idea. Like once I trade, win or lose, I'm done trading that account. And it's really helped me, man. Like it's been my biggest downfall is tilt, obviously, and it's a lot of new traders' problem. But I think it just creeps up so fast. So like
Yeah.
depending on how my second trade goes, even if it's a winner and my first one's a loser, my psychology is already skewed, and I head into the third trade with the wrong mindset. And even like if I have winner, just super overconfident now, come back, give all my money back to the market, it just sets me up like I got to get this back, and I chase it, and before you know it, I'm 4 trades deep. That's tilt for me, but I'm $1,000 or $2,000 down on the day when I have my average win days $200 or $300. So
Yeah, I mean, we can't make but so many, like trading is mentally taxing, bro. Like on a physiological level, bro, we can't make but so many wise decisions or good decisions per day, bro. So by the time you hit your fourth trade, because the way I think about it is like my mental capital is like the wall that is holding that emotional side back, right? And the weaker that wall get, that dog is just trying to break through, bro. It's trying to get through.
you
So
got to listen to that podcast with Cameron, because he says the same thing. He's like, even though he
yeah,
doesn't watch his trade, because he's like, even when you're watching your trade and drawdown, you're using up that mental capital. So he
yeah,
gets
for
an
sure.
alert when the trade either executes, whether it's a win or loss. And he's like, I have 2 minutes of like, I go like I wallow, I have sorrow, suffering if it's a losing trade. And then he's like that. He's like, it's gone. He's like, when you're
Yeah,
sitting in a trade, he's like, you're suffering when you're in drawdown. Like you're putting all this physical stress on your body and you don't
It's true.
realize
yeah.
it. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, fuck, it's so true, right? And he just takes 1 trade a day. That's it.
I think as you trade longer, you get more experience and you can
For sure.
withstand more of it,
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. Your endurance definitely, it's like going to the gym. Your endurance definitely grows as you do it for sure
Yep.
over time.
For
Yeah.
me, this is more of like a discipline challenge, which I'm like actually enjoying the discipline of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Biggest takeaway from hearing Scott talk?
He
I
took
think
that
mine
loss beautifully.
Oh, he took a couple. I think
Yeah.
for me it was seeing, like, even he references the trading in the zone, the corny like trading sayings of like, if the market pays you, pay yourself. Like, don't trade your P&L, trade the structure of the market kind of thing. I do
Mhm.
think for like the scalpers, that is a good mindset to embrace. Maybe not as much
Yeah.
for you, Lawrence, just because of the strategy, but for the guys that are scalping like Scott or want to scalp like that, don't trade and scalp your P&L, scalp what the market's giving you.
Yeah, but that's what I loved, like how quick he was to take some size off once he was in the money. Like he knew, like he knows, just like looking at it when he gets to a certain point.
How
Okay,
does
I'm
he
taking
not get
size.
frustrated that he's trading so small compared to what he used to trade? That's what I don't understand.
That is a
Like,
good question.
Like, how
Because
do
I
you
did
go
hear him
from
talk about
doing
trading micros.
3,000 contracts to now talking about micros in a sim account?
Yeah.
Like, how does
Maybe
he
it's less stress, and he realizes now by trading 10 micros how much better he feels than having the stress of having 3,000 minis on in the market.
You can tell with him, he does not trade from a place of needing the money or trade from a place of scarcity. He just trades. That guy just trades. So that's another thing I think you could take from him,
Yeah.
Just trades the system. If it's the entry, he plays it. That's the way he rolls. No questions.
Yeah, he doesn't think about it. No, that's where I like that, but that's a like conviction in his strategies.
Yeah.
Like he sees it,
Very.
he executes. And then if he misses it, he's like, fuck, I missed, like, you know what I mean? Like doesn't even try and chase it. He's just like, fuck, I'm an idiot. I should have, like, even that news event. He's like, I should have known that Michigan
I
sentiment
said
was
something.
coming
Did
in.
I not say
You
out
said
loud?
it. You said it 2 minutes before.
I
News
tried to
coming
give him
in.
a warning, and he goes, "I didn't even know that was coming." I'm like,
I didn't want to say that because you just said it.
No, I don't. You don't need to rub it in his face. You know.
No.
Yeah.
Everybody, just reminding you. Oh, look who it is! Literally, I paused the video and look, Lawrence, it's you. Everybody, podcast tomorrow morning is where the giveaway is.
Nice.
Some people are asking in the chat, where's the giveaway this week? We're doing all the giveaways, 5 accounts tomorrow on the premiere of my podcast with Flow Zone. His name is Alex. Yo, Lawrence, listen to this. He was this DJ duo called Tough Love, and they have songs that have 50 million, 20 million views.
Jeez.
Yep. So he was like a part of this famous DJ duo.
Yeah, now he's doing really good with
Now
the
he's
trading.
trading.
How long was
Now
he?
he's
How
scalping
long was he
NQ.
trading for?
He's been trading for a while. You'll have to listen to the podcast, but he was originally trading with like a group of guys that were fading Ross Cameron and trying to like find the guys that were long penny stocks, and he would short them. Him and some guys from SMB.
Mm.
So does he copy trade props now?
I think so. Yeah, I didn't ask him that specifically, but he trades with Tradeify, Top Step, Take Profit, and.
But
like
I heard something about multiple accounts and small, like, you know, having a small win in one over multiple.
What do you
like in
mean you heard
your last trailer?
What did you
Your
hear?
In your trailer, he talks about it. Like you
Pull it up. I
posted
don't
it.
remember what he said.
I don't know which one it is. Fuck.
Oh,
I guess we'll just-
fuck.
We'll have to. I love how you're just gonna make everybody watch them, listen to the podcast.
Go give me the view. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna get a listen from me. I don't watch. I watch Scott's because it's Bookmap, but I listen.
Yeah, I feel like after watching Scott's thing, I need to go like stare off into the distance for a little bit, reset my eye.
I want to get some sun.
What are you
sunlight in
drinking,
my eyes,
Randy?
and it's raining here.
Randy, what are you drinking?
Whiskey.
It's a Guinness every Friday morning at 8
Oh
a.m.
my gosh.
I have a beer.
Oh my god.
It's
You're
a coffee.
you're-
You know how many people have asked me thinking it's a fucking beer? I love it. It's
Yeah,
a
I'm like,
coffee.
bro, I'm like, what are you doing right now? I wouldn't put it past you. It wouldn't be like a whoa, like, you know, it wouldn't
Yeah,
be
I
that.
could see that. I think that's why everybody asked, right? If it was somebody else, they
Yeah.
wouldn't even ask. They would be like,
Exactly.
Tipping over, Randy? Are we about to tip over?
I don't know. I don't want to think about it.
This does not look good, brother. We're about
at
to
NQ.
yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I'm
NQ
saying.
is going to
like,
sweep these lows back here, and then it's just, I think NQ is going to fall right over. It's going to drag everything down with it in 64.
yeah, no, this thing's gonna die.
Well, we'll see. We'll
I want to cut my trade and go short, but I'm not. This is my the only one trade.
You do that, bro, you're gonna be wrong. Like that would be
Yeah.
literally selling it at the bottom here. I don't think that would be a good idea.
I'm not going to do that, but there's a part of me that wants to. That's what I would do. in the past.
I know, dude. I know. I know you. I'm gonna hold in for the stop at the low, the way I'm supposed to with the system, and just let it do its thing. I can take the loss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
I kind of want to cut it here because now we're like trading underneath that previous day's value area low. But
For me, I can't cut it. There's always a reason to cut it, but I know I was playing that pin as the stop loss, and that's the thesis that I like to trade. So I'm going to see it through. I'm not saying I wouldn't cut it if it like starts to slow down again here and we look like a lower high. Maybe we get out of it there. But there's no reason to bail on a trade here when you're this close to stop loss, and that's the thesis. You got to
Yeah,
hold it.
for sure. For sure.
What are we talking about? Yeah, so I'm thinking about setting up a personal cash account. You know, Scott really didn't answer me when I asked him that. Like he just explained why he likes Apex and how he trades them, but he didn't really answer why he doesn't trade a cash account. So I'm very curious to know why he wouldn't, or why good traders wouldn't do that, you know?
maybe tax reasons or something. Just doesn't want to talk about it. You never know.
Yeah, it could be.
Well, I mean, I think the thing is like it's similar to kind of like real estate, right? Like, why would you use? I think it's dumb to use your money
Yeah.
to buy a whole house instead of using somebody else's money, right? And
He's in
keeping
the
your
chat.
cash.
He does. There you go. Thank you, Scott, for clarifying. So he does have a cash account. So that's good. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think a lot of us should be doing that. Like just doing prop alone doesn't really make sense. Like we said on the podcast we filmed yesterday, Randy. Randy was going off yesterday, Lawrence. He was freaking out.
Dude, Hillary was gonna break down the door thinking I was like, she's like, who's talking to you like that? That you're so mad. And I was like, it's
He
all
was getting-
good.
This is like Lawrence. We had an argument about milk when me and Randy went to dinner, and we were going at it. He was going at me about the milk, bro. He would not stop about this drinking milk shit. And this was like yesterday on the podcast. He's going off about why would I only trade one prop account? We got to maximize all opportunities, copy trade a lot of accounts, like do the whole thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just about scalability. I had an argument about scalability.
Yeah, but like, look at what
when is
they're
this?
doing.
When is this dropping? I need to hear Randy go.
This
off.
one comes on Monday.
Look at like Scott just said in the chat, like he's got a buddy that's going to throw some money in an account and like fund him. Like that's another option too, you know?
That's crazy.
Herc said, who's been the most interesting guest you've interviewed in your podcast? And what top 3 things have you learned? Scott's definitely one of the most interesting people. Scott's also probably one of the biggest traders that I've interviewed. Like I said, I think the big takeaways from the conversation today, one of them was how he still references the cliche trading in the zone quotes and it still fucking works. Like that's huge. I think another one is like, it looks foreign, but when you understand it really well, like he does, it is not foreign. It's the only way that it makes sense, the way Scott looks at it. So you can't, like, it proves there's just so many different ways to skin the cat in this game. You got to find what aligns with you. And then I think also an interesting third takeaway from today would be how many markets he's able to trade and like how you use all this information to still manage prop accounts correctly. Like it's very impressive. Makes me feel kind of stupid, not gonna lie. Any other takeaways from today, Randy? Or do you have any? I would say I'll give you another one, Herc. Another interesting guest I had would definitely be you could listen to Scott's episodes, go listen to Chris Cady, who I've had on, and then go listen to Brian Shannon and then even Tom Basso. And you hear 4 guys that have had decades in the markets and different experiences completely and made money in very different ways. So I think that's where my podcast helps the most. It's just different ways, you know.
I got to reach out to Scott and get him on our podcast, dude. That would be.
I'm sure he'll do it.
That would be dope. Like that would be like.
And then you should get Bruce, Mr. Bruce Pringle.
Yeah. Actually, that's the first time I heard Scott was on a webinar with Bruce, and he gave it to Bruce because Bruce didn't have something set up properly for Scott in time, and he was like ready to go. So it was like Scott means business.
Wealthy inheritance, see nothing here. Still playing with this Gex 3, dude. It's crazy. 75 is such a hot number today for ES. Look at YM drying up, dude. Drying up.
But I like it. I like this on YM. It's sitting on its low day VWAP.
Like it for longs or short?
For longs. I like this level of. I like it when it consolidates like this, right? Because
you're about to abandon the ship on me.
And again, like you said, like, you know, we've had these moves in the last few weeks where the first few 2 hours of the market has been bearish, and then buyers step back in and we come and take the VWAPs, and it's just, you know, we make a new high day.
Yeah.
So I think this is like the way I was trying to digest the markets is like we're at all-time highs. The sellers need anything they can get to pull price down.
Yeah.
And the buyers just realize, again, they just step back in and say, hey, we're not going to be giving up all these gains. Like, how many buyers are in above all these VWAPs? Like, it's been nothing but buying.
Right.
So, like, they're going to be like, I think, like, you're going to have it when price slows down and we don't cut through it. This could go either way. Don't get me wrong. This, like, it just slides.
For sure. But I know what you're saying.
But I'm just saying, like, I'm bullish on the long term. So why do I not think if price is going to consolidate, the buyers are going to step back in and hammer this up, unless Trump comes out and says something stupid.
Yeah.
Unless somebody, you know what, an institution steps in and wants to sell, right? Like there's lots of moving parts, obviously, but like in the bigger entire time frame, why would I, when price consolidates, I'd rather see it pop to the upside than tip over.
This was yesterday, everybody, where we made money long. There was multiple opportunities for longs. Beautiful, one directional move yesterday at the open. If you look at it today, it's arguably the same thing, back down, selling. So maybe the difference being previous day VWAP is kind of in your way here today versus yesterday. It was not. Getting some action right now, it looks like, too. At 70 and 65. That would take me out if it hit 65. We're already past 11 o'clock, too. Yeah, this thing's probably cooked. Normally when we're in a trade this long and it's not working, it's not a winner.
Yeah, this is going to be a little bit of a Hail Mary. Like I said, you're going to need some major buying strength just to step in and really give this some lift, and then hopefully some follow through.
I got a meeting in 10 minutes anyway, so we're going to have to wrap up the stream soon.
It's Friday.
Yeah.
It's Friday.
I caught that short. I caught that short at the beginning of stream. So if I take a loss on this trade, I'll be down like $75 on the day. What is that? That was a run of 9 green days in a row. So one red day.
Nice.
In a row, bro. That's great.
Yeah, one red day don't hurt. Here.
No, definitely not.
So
nice.
These are the TPT accounts.
How many
First week was the eval. Second week was all funded. Obviously, the P&L is a lot smaller in the second week, but I'm working on just trading 3 micros, 1 trade a day, and then I'm going to scale that up to probably 100 accounts by the end of the year. So
cool.
100? Shit.
That's
Yeah.
his plan. Tell him. All right, let's wrap up with that. Tell him, Randy. Tell him what we talked about yesterday. Tell him the game plan.
Yeah, so I'm at this point where it's I've been trading for, it'll be coming up to almost 2 years at the end of this year. And I'm just,
You're saying it like that's good.
it's not long enough, right? It's all good. You can say it.
2 years is
2 years.
nothing, brother.
Yeah.
It's
No, but
absolutely
listen.
nothing.
So I've
Nothing. You're a
taken-
baby, bro.
I've taken, I'm not saying it in the sense of, Lawrence, I'm not saying it in the sense of like I figured it out. I'm saying in
Okay.
the sense of I'm just making some decisions in my trading journey, like how I'm going to handle how I trade. So I've taken a couple payouts. And for me, we had this, you got to watch the podcast. I'm not going to get too much into it now because I don't want to ruin it, but I'm not about chasing payouts right now. I'm about scaling up, trading with size. And if I take a payout at the end of the year on 20 or 30 accounts, that's my goal. My goal is not to take a payout on one account in 3 weeks or a month or 2 weeks, whatever the time frame I think or know I can do it in. So my goal is to scale up and then to trade small size, but over multiple accounts, whether they're evals, funded accounts. Because if not, I might as well stop trading prop and put some personal capital in the market and trade that way.
What do you think of that, Lawrence?
So I'm trading with
Yeah.
size, but I'm trading with prop size. I'm scaling up
Yeah.
and using the props as leverage, or if not, I might as well put 50 or 100K in the markets and trade one or two, three minis a day.
Right.
That's where I'm at because I'm trading full time now. I want to, like, payouts are awesome. Don't get me wrong, but my goal is not to just get paid. My goal is to make an income here, right? I'm
Yeah.
trying to build something, so I need to grow my wealth, and I'm not going to grow my wealth by just doing.
All right,
you know.
let Lawrence respond now. We get it. Come on.
Yeah.
Sorry, I gotta cut you off.
Okay.
Go
So
ahead,
yeah,
Lawrence.
no. So basic, real quick, I love the idea of having a long-term goal because the short-term goals is what cause you to blow up, like chasing a payout, trying to get funded. So having a long-term goal is good. Now the scaling piece, you're gonna have to be very, because this is why I said like 2 years. It takes a while to know, like, because your mental, okay, you have a mental capital and then you have your portfolio capital, your trading capital. Your trading capital is going to meet your mental capital wherever it is. You know what I'm saying? So unless you make sure that your mental capital is at a point where it is at 100 accounts, like the trading capital is just going to follow your mental capital. So all I'm getting at is, 2 years is, I love the vision and I think you should go for it. For sure. But all I'm getting at is it does take time to learn yourself enough to know, how much you can mentally take, because your trading capital is going to follow it every single time. It's just going to follow it. And if you do 100 accounts, I would highly suggest that you stick to 1 to max 2 trades per day and call it. And I'm not talking about per account.
No.
Get trade syncer, get something in 1 trade per day, brother. That's it. So that's your dessert and that's your veggies. So
now
that's
we can go down that rabbit hole for a second of like 1 trade a day though. What if it, like, I think instead of, I like what you're doing, Lawrence. It works for you because if I think you're risk reward, but for the way Randy's been trading, I think you're better off limiting yourself to 2 trades, Randy. So if you do lose the first one, you can at least attempt to get back to break even. But then that would mean probably being smaller than you're thinking initially, because you'll want to fight back on some days rather than just take the red day, in my opinion. That's just my opinion.
So that's what I'm working. That's what I'm working on right now. And I thought I could do 1 trade a day, and now I have the 2 accounts, the funded accounts.
You'll overtrade. One day you'll Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You'll go crazy and trade 37 times. Yeah.
So no, that's where, and on 30 or 40 or 100 accounts, you trade 37 times. You're blowing up every fucking thing.
Everything.
And that's like,
it's all on fire.
That's going to be like a 10 or 15K investment into these accounts.
Just give me the money, bro. I'll do something fun with it. I'll film it. Like, give me the money. Don't do that.
Oh, no.
Bro.
I'm starting to set up the guardrails now.
I'm curious to see what the
by trading trading the way I'm trading right now. Like Austin even made a point. He's like, last week my average day was $1,000. This week my average day is one's $236, one's $17, $137. I'm trying to just slowly start to process in my head. Well, I'm going to use a software called Trader's Post where I'm just going to trade on TradingView. I'm going to trade 3 micros. I can set up every single account with different sizing. So I'm just focusing on trading my 3 micros and how to like balance that. Like you said, that mental capital and the trading capital.
Before you start tilting?
That's a good question.
2 trades. Second trade, I start to tilt.
So that's why I say 1 trade per day, Austin, because it's not the fact of his risk and reward. It's the mental piece. I'm telling you, bro.
You're right.
Like that shit.
Keep it
I agree with you. But
Yeah.
if I can pull $75, even $37 out of a trade, and I'm trading it on 10 accounts, that's $370 I made on a day where I could have made nothing.
I understand.
That's how I'm trying to reframe it, right? And
Bro,
I get
yeah.
what you,
Let me
because
tell you what's going on.
Christine is so against this. She thinks that I'm
dude,
just going to be
Christine's
thinking about the $1
super
million
she's your
in
mom,
the
bro.
account.
She's
and just
looking
gonna
out
tilt
for you.
it.
She doesn't want you to get hurt, bro. She's like your mom. She wants you to be safe. I don't want you to be safe. I want you to fall. What does Jordan Peterson say? You got to let your kids do dangerous things carefully. Do something dangerous, but be careful.
So Miles is doing a backflip up the couch, and I'm promoting it, and Hillary's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "He'll be fine. He'll figure it out. It's 3 feet off the ground. Like,
He's not gonna die."
no."
Maybe.
Yeah.
You want to hear? Have you guys heard this truck outside my house the whole stream?
No.
They're digging the well for my neighbor across the street. It's way across the street, so I didn't think you heard it, but it's loud. You ever seen them dig a well, Lawrence?
Yeah.
Never.
I have.
The truck is like pyloned into the ground, so the truck sometimes is like off the fucking ground because the ground is sloped, and then they stick this massive thing into the ground. The crazy thing about digging a well when you build a house is if they don't find water, you got to pay for them to dig and find another one. Every time they drop that motherfucker, you got to pay for it, even if they miss on the first one.
But how do they
should be
assess?
some
How do they
guarantee, like,
assess?
Yeah, they do. They say they do, but you never know. Oh, shooting a blank.
Oh my gosh.
We know somebody that has to do that right now. They're digging their second well.
That's not a good
And it's
RR.
like, up here, it's like it can be 40 grand for a well. It can be 40K to dig a well.
It's more than that here. Yeah.
That's not a good RR.
No, not a good RR. But boys, this is great stream. I'm gonna say we decompress. I'm still in the long, Randy. I'm sure you are as well. See if that low will hold back through the 75 here, maybe into the 80. We'll see. I'll probably be done after this trade, regardless. If we can get out of this for a win, take the loss, whatever. But Monday, I think we should pick up this conversation about scaling the accounts. Chat, I'm curious to know.
Well, we're going to start doing it. I'm going to start sharing it with everyone, right? So it's going to be, and I love the feedback. And Lawrence, I appreciate you, brother, everything you say, right? So,
yeah, man. Of course.
This is the whole point of talking about it, is to grow with everyone and see what everybody says.
So live chat, think about it over the weekend. Who are you guys going to buy accounts with? Are you trying to do some scaling like Randy? Like what's everybody's goal here? Are you thinking about personal account like I am? Like I'm just seeing where everybody's head's at. It's good to be thinking about the next evolution. You see, I bought this course. I bought this Gex level thing. I'm trying to learn something new. We're going to go into stops and icebergs over the next month. I'm already planning out the new course. Zach's got a new course. So we got a ton of stuff coming, everybody. I'll just remind you, if you're new, if you're watching on X, first month free, ASFX TV, use the discount code FIRST. First month free, use the code FIRST. I think if this goes well and a bunch of people come in, I'm just going to make the free trial like longer. So it's not a 3-day trial, and then we'll just offer people more. Because I think once people come in, they love us. They love seeing Lawrence on Fridays. They love seeing Randy 3 times a week. So now it's not just about me, which is good. So yeah, anybody new, come on in. But ASFX TV people, I'll see you guys all tomorrow morning for the podcast. If you're watching on YouTube or X, tune in tomorrow. The day trading show, we're doing 5 50K account giveaways tomorrow. So be there, 8 a.m. Eastern. Don't be late. Thanks, everybody.